Common Sense Media activated.
Live from the 210, it's the Wave of the Few Short Show, and we are your hosts, Mr. Trey M. Carr, and I am E. James.
Welcome everyone to Wave of the Few Shore, a bi-weekly panel discussion show covering a few happenings around the world, mostly rooted in trends, society, news, and culture, with a dash of comedy. In this week's episode, we'll be discussing more breaking news with the Ohio truck spill. A little emphasis on the truck there. The deepening racial tensions in Tennessee after the GOP expelled black lawmakers, Jill Biden's controversial NCAA tournament suggestion, plus our thoughts on the whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark drama. But before we get into those, it's just the two of us this week, brother.
Yeah, man. We're missing the extra wheel to the wave, man.
Yeah, man.
This week, Cars had some business that he had to handle. So
yeah, he's on Baywatch, lifeguard duty.
Yep. So we doing it with the duo this week, man. So shout out to Car, man. We miss you, bro. We miss you. Can't wait to get you back in the room, man. Doing this great things, but we gonna cater love this week, man. We got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How have you been, man?
Been pretty good, man. Good. Can't complain, man. Just work and kids, and that's the revolving door that just kind of keeps going around, right? It's the work, it's the kids, it's more work, more kids, and then you throw a sprinkle of wife in there, I guess, a little bit when you can.
Yeah, man. Round and round we go. It don't stop. Sorry, get my Method Man going.
I
now.
see you there, man. That's it, baby. That's it, man. But it's all love, baby. All love. How you doing, man? What's going on?
Man, I am busy. I should be studying for the cert. I got a freaking boot camp next month. I'm so far behind. It's about to be crunch time. I'm going to a wedding next week in LA. Well, Oxnard. My man's getting married or remarried. Yeah, so I got that going on. And then as far as like personal stuff, I'm going to give a quick shout out. I'm going to get mine out the way to the Shoegaze Project. I did something I normally don't do. I joined I'm on Reddit already, but this guy put out kind of like a bulletin post. Hey, I have no musicians where I am that are into the stuff I'm into. Anybody want to get involved in the project? And I was like, I kind of want to try it. So I replied back, saw a couple other people that I've interacted with on the subreddit before, and turn around, man. We got a little demo song going. I mean, it's super rough, but it's going.
Nice.
So, and then we've added a few more people. So it's becoming less of like, this is a band and more like a collective and people just kind of throwing stuff together. But I can see this kind of blossoming into something larger, man. So I'm really excited. Then, kids, sports, man, that's always keeping me busy.
Yeah, all the sports your kids are in, man. I don't know where you find the time, dude.
Man, it's crazy. There's some stuff that I still want to do just on a personal level, man. And it's just like, I need time. I need to start telling people, you can't do this. It's too much.
The world's most valuable resource there, my man.
Exactly.
For real. There's not enough. There's only so many hours in the day, man.
Exactly, man.
You got to get sleep, at least a little bit.
But I always got to make time for this. I got to make time for the family. Got to make time for this because I enjoy doing this.
Man, I feel you there, man. I feel you there.
Hey, so got a question for you.
What's up?
You buying NFL Sunday tickets?
Man, nah, dude, I'm not doing that. Did you see those prices, dude? It's absolutely ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Those prices were so high. I'm like, what? I mean, I guess they're not higher than they normally are, but I don't have YouTube TV, so
yeah.
So they are higher than they normally are.
Well, see, and I saw that they go anywhere from $249 to $489. And I think you and I, when we were speaking about it briefly, I think you told me it was $293 before, right?
Yeah, I had looked that up a little earlier. So they were paying, what were they paying beforehand? Yeah, so it was like $293 for the season for like the Sunday ticket, and then they had the Sunday ticket max. It was $395.
Good Lord.
So I don't know, man. I guess I'm just a basketball fan.
Yeah. I mean, compared to like League Pass, that's like $129 for everything.
Yeah.
Well, except for your local team. Don't get me on that rant again
Yeah,
about
we
Mountain
already
Sports.
did that, but
yeah, we did that on Crossing Streams, and we promised y'all we're not turning it to a sports show, and it's not going to be Crossing Streams Part 3. We got a lot more to build on for that one, but yeah, that's just crazy, man. Like I saw those prices, I'm like $489, and it's without without YouTube TV.
yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean, I guess it's a good ploy to get those people that rely on that to make a move to YouTube TV.
Yeah.
I had YouTube TV for a while. It wasn't bad. It had some cool features, but I don't know.
Just can't watch your local team on it.
Yeah, that's really the big thing that came out to me. Like, couldn't watch the Spurs unless they were on Kins 5, which is like 5% of the time.
Exactly. It's like 10, 15 games a year.
Like,
if even that.
Yeah, it's like they're never on there. So, yeah, it's pricey, but that's the NFL these days, man. I just 16 games. Okay, so you get what, 30 teams, 16 games. And I'm sure they have the local Black Outlaws too. I've never really used Sunday Ticket, but they've got to have those local Black Outlaws. So if you like want to watch the Cowboys, you got to watch it on Fox. You can watch it on Sunday Ticket. So it's just, I don't know, man. I think it's a little much, but
It's a lot of money.
if I had a bar, I'd buy it. You know, if I had a bar with 7 TVs or 10 TVs or something in there, then oh yeah, let's get Sunday Ticket and throw it up so every TV can have a different game on it. But other than that, nah, man, I'm passing on that. Sorry, YouTube TV. Sorry, Google. No, thank you.
Hey, man, don't be sorry for Google. Google's like Park. We gon' make that bread.
Shout out to my brother, man.
Yeah, the little bro.
But yeah, between that and then they're coming out with that HBO Max, or not HBO Max, it's just Max.
Yeah.
To the max? No.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like $16. They're supposed to announce that tomorrow. So we'll dive deeper on that on the Crossing Streams Part 3 when they announce that and give us all the details. But the word on the street is there will be an ad-supported tier.
I'd pay $10 probably if it had ads. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't pay for it, quote unquote. I pay for my internet and it comes with it. I don't like saying free. It's bundled. They're baking that into the price of your service.
Yeah.
Somehow. You know, that's why when people say, oh, I get this for free. And it's like, I have Verizon. I get the whole Disney package for free, quote unquote. It's like, no, that's why my bill's going up, because you guys are subsidizing and getting that
extra money in there. Yeah.
Probably getting a little discount for me, sure. I'm getting it discounted, but I wouldn't say it's free. It's an illusion of free. So
that's how they make you think, man.
Yeah, man. So a little breaking news. Ohio. That truck spill, man.
I can't catch a break out there,
dude,
man.
I feel for those people. That is just ridiculous. So for us, this is a little bit of a double tap. Circling back to the Palestine, however you want to say it, Ohio spill that happened. What was that?
February?
Yeah. It feels like forever ago, but it's just
February. 2 months. 2 months ago.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. I can't believe that. So the truck was carrying 40,000 pounds?
Yep. 20 tons of dirty dirt.
Dirty dirt. And they crashed in front of somebody else's house. Somebody's house in general. Not somebody else's, but
yeah, man. I'd be so mad. Especially if I have like dogs and kids, like go out play in the dirt. Like, nope, can't do that anymore.
Yeah, my wife sent me a message. She was like, so I got like a screen print from my cousins. I have a little group text with my cousins on my mom's side and my wife, and one of them threw it in there. And then she sent me a private message. I had like no frame of reference. It was like, yeah, we're never going to that area. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. And then she said, Ohio. I was like, oh, because like at one point we talked about, hey, maybe Ohio might be a good place to raise a family. And
nope.
Dirty. She was like, there in Michigan, you got dirty water in Michigan. You got dirty dirt in Ohio.
The dirty.
The dirty.
Upper Midwest. What is
Man, that double dirt.
No, thank you. I'm gonna stay down here in Texas, man. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
all right.
at least for now.
I'm all right, man. There's no state taxes. I ain't paying no more taxes.
That's just crazy. So the original spill was February 3rd. I thought it was the 3rd. That number stuck in my head.
Trey.
Right. I'm looking at these pictures right now. I mean, smoke, fire. Oh wait, never mind. That's the train.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's coming back.
Sorry. I was like, wait, hold on. Smoke and fire.
What kind of dirt did they have?
Right. Exactly. That's some flammable dirt. But no, so I guess it was an open top truck, which to me, that doesn't sound safe.
Yeah, it sounds it doesn't sound logical. Let's just put it like that.
Well, I say safe because if you're moving at a high speed and the wind picks, stuff's going to fly out of the top. Will it not?
I mean, you can throw a tarp on it, but I'm sure you're still going to get some stuff out of there. And if it's highly contaminated soil,
right,
and you're cruising down interstate, whatever they got over there at 80 miles an hour, or do people only go 80 miles an hour in Texas? Anyway, you're
they
going
go 80
fast.
miles an hour everywhere, except Virginia, maybe.
You're going to get some of that stuff spilling out of there. Yeah, people rolling behind it with the windows down, or you never know, man. You never know what can happen. Or your driver can veer off the road and hit a utility pole and flip over and spill 20,000 pounds of dirt in somebody's driveway.
That's crazy.
I mean, because it's open top. Even if it was a closed container, and I'm sure you would get some spillage, but
yeah.
I mean, now that I think about it, though, I don't think I've ever really seen. I guess you wouldn't see it if it was a closed container. You think of open containers, you get more like when you're transporting dirt and sand and rocks.
Right.
They normally have that open top to it, but I'm sure there's something you can do other than just a tarp because.
Yeah, well, and you get that whole, when you're looking at the back of the truck, it'll say, hey, not responsible for debris flying, stay back 200 feet, whatever.
Right there, you can't even see it if you're 200 feet back.
Exactly. It's like, oh, let me slow down. My bad.
Too close. Back up, dog.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I couldn't do that. So the driver was a 74-year-old dude, and he's okay. They say they still don't know why he traveled off the side of the road for, they don't know why it happened, basically. That's just, I'll tell you why. He's 74.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, dude, he's 74. That's why. What do you mean?
I almost that in the road. Sorry about your house.
Oops.
I'm okay.
I'm okay, though. Just, you might want to stay inside for a couple of weeks.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know, man. Contaminated soil. I guess they said everything's fine, but they also said that after the initial train derailment. So I guess you just won't know until you know about what kind of effect that can have on the home and the environment around there. I
was just thinking about that. You ever seen that GIF or that meme of the dog? The house is on fire. It says, this is fine.
Oh, yeah. that's Ohio right now.
You're right. This is fine.
That's the Ohio legislature. It's okay. It's okay. What is it? What are they? The ECA? What is it called?
I forgot what it's called. Not EPA.
It might be EPA. I can't remember.
Environmental Protection Agency?
Yeah, I think that. I think that's it. Yeah, the Ohio EPA. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, the soil, it's just got kryptonite in it. Don't worry. You're not Superman.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build superheroes.
Superheroes out of Ohio.
Little granules.
That's how Static Shock got his powers, right?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, Static. Oh, snap. Hey, check it out. Look over your left shoulder. Y'all can't see in my office.
Oh, yeah. I see it over there. I see you with the Static figure.
It's just crazy that you brought him up. My wife went to the store. She sent a picture. I got like all these. So for all you listeners out there, I'm a massive DC Comics guy. I know the whole world's Marvel, but bump that. Doesn't mean I don't like Marvel, but DC first. Yeah, so my wife went to the store, and I've been trying to back off these little DC Legends things because I got them all over my office on high shelves. But when she showed me that Static, I was like, yeah, buy it. I mean, I had to. So, yeah, it's just funny that you brought him up, man.
Can't ever forget about Virgil, man.
No, man. That's not a theme song's in my head. Go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, be watching out for Ohio, man. You're gonna get a new Masked Avenger coming out, talking about I can fly. No iron suit needed.
I'm sure the federal government will swoop in then.
Well,
real quick. Sorry, I had to.
Well, let's put a little layer of tinfoil hat on our heads, and let's really get into it. If it's on purpose, they're monitoring the activity to see what happens. They figure East Palestine, inconspicuous. Let's just go ahead and drop
Small town,
Exactly.
You got to worry about 1 million superhumans, just 500.
Right.
You start there.
They said Ohio's got that good dirt. We're going to drop the chemicals here. We're going to wait a couple of months for it to kind of boil in, and then we're going to spill it, wink, wink, somewhere else. And we're going to mix it with that good dirt in that area, and then we target the heroes we really want. Maybe the hero that they want is the person that lives in that house.
Oh, man. Yeah, right in front of his driveway. Boom. Mind blown.
He goes, he's got a little garden in the back. He's in a little super strawberry, or she, could be she. All right. Trying to tell you, they build an army up.
They building super soldiers, man. We got to keep up with China.
Hey. They're gonna be like, you have 1 billion people, but we have 150 super soldiers that could take out a billion each or 1 million each. We have the best army. They're gonna come out there. They're gonna take you out. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to put out the winter soldier, the summer soldier, the spring soldier.
Shout out to Homelander. They've been watching a little bit too much of the boys.
I don't know why I just resorted to Trump. He ain't even president anymore. That just sounds like, he already made Space Force, so, which is crazy. Yeah, Space Force has been around years now.
Yeah. They do their basic training out of Lackland.
Oh, I didn't know that. What?
I learned that at work.
If you look at their logo, it's basically Starfleet.
Yeah,
from Star Trek.
I think of that and Galactica.
Oh yeah,
the little Galactica ship you would fly around. Yeah, those are two things I think of when I think of the Space Force.
Oh yeah, as soon as they put it up, I was like, I've seen this before. I was like, deja vu. Pew 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 pew. Yeah, man. So hey, I hope that no one else gets hurt as a result of this spill. It sounds like it was contained, but when the stuff spilled last time, you got like dead fish,
Yeah.
That environment's a little jacked up, so
glowing green water and shit. Like
I know, right? It's like, hey man, that is not potable water. Oh man.
Just take a sip.
So, hey, and again, we're not trying to make light of the situation. We know it's a little heavy or hazardous, no pun intended, but we'll find out more about this as time goes on, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they let us see.
They might look out, and this may end up being one of those things where it's settled long enough in the soil that, even though it's hazardous, if they're able to contain it, it may not be such a big deal, but have to keep a close ear, close eye.
Yeah, see what happens there, man. But I just hope whoever's home that they spilled that on, I hope everybody's okay. Glad the driver's okay.
That's my thought, man.
Hope they can keep it contained like they said, and we'll see what happens with it, man. I just feel so bad for Ohio at this point, man. If it's not one thing, it's another. And even when they try to remove the dirty dirt, they can't do that right. I guess. Like what else? What else you got for me, man?
Get yourself a driver that's like in their 30s, the 40s or something.
No, because then he'll no disrespect to the driver, but if you're 30, 40, and then 30 years down the line develop a problem, sue.
Okay. So you're saying this was strategery?
It's strategic. I didn't get this 74-year-old driver behind here.
He's old anyway.
He won't be here long enough to figure it out.
Okay, so maybe get you a 65-year-old.
Yeah, a little something. Just take a little bit off the top, just a little bit.
Just shave a couple of years off the top.
Just a little bit, man.
Oh, you're a fool, man.
But in all honesty and in all seriousness, man, just continued prayers for that area because you never know. Like we said, you never know what can happen. 6 months down the line, a couple years down the line, I just hope everybody in that area is okay.
And for everybody going, thoughts and prayers, really, guys? Hey, man, it's better than nothing.
That's true.
It's better than nothing. We could just sit here and go, oh, that sucks. So I was watching the White Sox game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you run point on this one, man. So GOP in Tennessee.
Yeah, so on the last episode, we spoke about the tragic shooting that took place in Tennessee where three educators and three children lost their lives tragically due to an armed gunman storming their school. So, of course, it's a tragic situation. It's going to bring up emotions and things, and people are going to act. That's what really democracy is all about, in my point of view. Your right to go protest and make your voice heard one way or another. I mean, as long as you're not doing anything violent, you're not acting in violence, destroying things. If you're just protesting, no matter where that may take place.
Yep.
If you're not breaking windows, bashing in windows, or storming, flipping over cars, all the things that we've seen over the years, starting fires. If you're peacefully protesting and chanting for change, it's in our First Amendment right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Tennessee, after that tragic event, had a swarm of protests at their Capitol building. I think I read it was upwards of 7,000 people, and these are the younger generation in the majority. People, college guys, people around my age, late 20s, early 30s, is what I've seen and heard about the majority of the crowd. But there were three lawmakers out of Tennessee that went and joined the protest.
Yep.
That they were going through. Mr. Jones, give me a moment on the names.
No, you're good. Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson.
Yes.
Who have become known as the Tennessee Three.
Yeah, so those three folks joined in those protests at the Capitol. I believe they tried to say some things at the Senate floor. They had their mics cut off. So then they went through. I was watching Kamala Harris's speech. I'll speak on that in a moment. It's a part that she brought up there. Their voices were silent, so they went out with the crowd with blowhorns and chanted and protested with their constituents, right? The people that they represent.
Right.
For the most part. And then Tennessee, the legislator decided that it was against, I guess, their house code or something along those lines. And they expelled 2 out of the 3 from their acting seats that they had in the legislature of Tennessee.
Yes.
And that was just even more fuel on the fire.
Yes.
It was a nice little sprinkle. Like first, you got gun violence, you've got protests. Now we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of racism in there, or perceived
I was going to
racism.
say that. Yeah.
Because you have the 2 young African-American gentlemen who lost their jobs, even if it was only momentarily.
Yeah.
And the older, a Caucasian woman, was not expelled, even though I think it was only by 1 vote that she was able to keep her seat in the Tennessee legislature there. And even she came out and said it right after. They asked her, why do you think you were able to stay and they got expelled? And she said, well, I think it's obvious. They're 2 young African-American men and I'm a older white woman. Those are her words. That's her quote off of that. So then another fire that you get going on with this, right?
Yeah.
Bad look for Tennessee, first and foremost. It's already Tennessee. You already have a history in that state for perceived racism. You go back even 100 years, certain foundations or organizations were founded.
The Ku Klux Klan.
Were founded in that state, right? So there's history there. And now you have them expelling the young black men for honestly no reason. And I do want to applaud Kamala Harris. I haven't been the biggest fan of her as vice president throughout her term, but
She's been kind of non-present.
Yeah, I really feel like she has. But she stood up for this, and I got to listen to the majority of her speech that she gave. And it was a rousing speech. I mean, of course, there was a lot of Democrats there that she gave the speech to. Right. So you're going to hear all the applause. But the thing that she was speaking on, the names that she brought up for past lawmakers from that state, and just the general idea that they were trying to silence the frustrations and the voice of the people through this is just wrong for democracy. So I want to give her a lot of credit for that. Fast forward over the weekend, right? This happened last week. You give it a week. Firestorm blows up. Now we're on the track of getting these people reinstated, I think is the word that they're using now.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, I believe, was reinstated today. If it wasn't yesterday.
I think it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
I believe so.
My days are all running, man.
I know, man. It all runs together quickly.
I know it wasn't on the weekend. That's one thing I know. But he was reinstated. Now they're waiting for the other Justin to get reinstated. They still have to go through the special election, though. They're doing a special contingency election to where the people have to revote to see if they can keep their seats. And they already said that they're going to run again during this election. But I just first wanted to shed some light on it. I know there's a million spotlights on this, but being that me and you are two young African American, or at least I'm young.
Hey, you gotta watch yourself now.
Oh boy, you're gonna kick me out.
You get suplex off the top rope.
Sorry, man, but just a couple young African Americans. I wanted to see what your thought on it was, how you kind of perceive the situation, and what do you think will really happen in the long run?
I will definitely tell you that, well, before I give you my answer, we tend to, I won't say we're apolitical, but we tend to not dive into a lot more of these
polarizing.
Well, and it depends on the polarizing, right? Like, we talk about some controversial things, but it's usually like an event, a shooting, or a political figure is getting indicted. That's the first time we really talked about something political with Trump. Because it affects us culturally. So I try not to steer towards those, because there are other outlets that really follow like the politics and the government, and the policies, all that stuff. But to answer your question, it's not a good look, man. From the outside looking in, it's easy to see why it looks racial in nature. Now, I forgot the representative's name, the House Speaker, and I had the article up and I think I closed it out yesterday. The House Speaker in Tennessee was saying, that couldn't be further from the truth. They said it wasn't racially motivated. And I want to believe that was that is true. I want to believe that. However, when you look at those two being expelled and not the Caucasian lady, it's like, well, so then does she have she had better history than the other two? And was that like their third strike and she was on strike two? I mean, there's not really a lot of detail into what went into their decision making. As mentioned, you've seen politicians, or you have a right to assembly, peaceful protest. You can picket, you can hold up signs, don't block the flow of traffic and all that other stuff, right? Then the cops got to get involved, et cetera. But we've seen many a politician go down, quote unquote, with the people and speak to the people and advocate for whatever it is that they believe in, the thing that they are passionate about. So in this instance, 3 children, actually, I think it's 7 people, by the way, that died. I think it went up to 7 last time I checked. But as of our last episode, from what I can remember, it was at least 6. So we'll say again, 3 children, 3 adults. It could be a 3-4 split either way. Lost their lives, and they're tired of it. And guns are a huge issue in America. You've got other countries looking at us going, the hell is up with America and all their guns? Why are you guys so obsessed with guns? And it's baked into our Constitution, right? Second Amendment. You have a right to bear arms, you know? And you, Carr, and myself, we are gun owners. We're responsible gun owners. I wouldn't say that any of the 3 of us are gun nuts. Mm-mm. And I say nut not as a pejorative, but like what people would say are gun nuts. You know, we're not like, oh man, I gotta have 40. Look at this. And we don't. I mean, it's been a while since I've gone out to the range, but you know, I don't sit there and stare at guns all day. I look at guitar pedals and recording equipment and plugins to make music. You know what I'm saying? Like I get into that stuff, and when I'm not doing that, you know, I'm researching whatever for work. So there's that. The reason why I'm bringing that point up about the guns specifically is that's what they were there for.
Yep.
They were there to talk about an issue. How do we stop our children from getting killed? And I said it last week or last episode, and I'll say it again. We need real solutions. We need to have real good faith dialogue about this. I'm not even asking for a ban. I'm not asking for deeper maybe deeper background checks, mental health stuff, right? But let's just start somewhere. I had a meeting today where I got to meet our larger team, and my boss asked us 10 questions. I answered all of them, and because we only had to like do at least 4, right? But I did all of them because it was easy for me. 10th question, got down there, and it was like, you know, what is your words of wisdom? And my words of wisdom were, just try something. Just try it. Just do it. Like Nike. Just try, man.
Just do it.
As a parent, and you've probably already seen this with your oldest child. You'll tell your kid to do something, and what do they automatically say because they don't want to do it? Oh, I don't know how to do that. And they've made no attempts. Mm-hmm. You've made absolutely no attempts. I get frustrated in my job often because I try to do something and I can't do it because my roles change or my teammates got all the access. You know, I'm not trying to air out work, dirty laundry. It's a matter of fact. I get frustrated all the time because I feel stripped of my powers. I feel like I got guardrails on me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so with you talk about these people, you guys don't have quite the guardrails that we have in society. You're the lawmakers. Now, that doesn't mean they could do anything they want. I understand that the government also has specific guardrails, but my point is you guys are making the policies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're making the policies. You're making the laws. All right? You got my team versus your team, us versus them. Put that stuff aside for a minute and let's really try to talk about this. I don't want to see the articles, well, the Republicans and, well, the Democrats and shut up. Just shut up. I'm sick of it. Everybody's sick of it. Y'all do the same thing. I truly believe these 3 individuals and others who probably support them in their own party, maybe some across the aisle support them. Don't like the way they went about it, but as always, probably voted down party lines. And it happens on both sides. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But you got obviously at least these 3 individuals who are passionate about this topic, about this situation that is, and 2 out of the 3 who look like you and me, bars, got suspended. It looks bad. It looks very bad. It looks questionable. And if that wasn't the case, I think we need, as people, we the people should know exactly why they were expelled and not her. It should be clear cut. No, cut. This is why. Clear clutter. Clear clutter. That's what it feels like, right?
Air out the dirty dirt.
Right. Just, hey, Okay, fine. You guys think we're racist? We're going to show you why we're not racist. This is what happened. Again, it could be a coincidence. I'm willing to be fair and say it could be a coincidence. In my heart, do I feel a certain way? Absolutely. And I'll leave it at that. It looks funky, but I'm willing to listen and understand why these people were let go. Now, there's a path to recovery, path to get back in. That's great. I think at some point they need to sit down, and I'm sure they will. They need to say to these folks, hey, here's why. We don't like that. That's not what we do here. This is the old ways down here in Tennessee. I don't know why I'm going Jerry Jones. That's Arkansas. But you get my point, man.
I get it.
That's not what we do in Tennessee. You know, if you got a problem with us, you come in, you talk to us, and you let us know that you got a problem, and then we'll put it on the docket. And this is how the government's always worked. Well, you know what? I got lost in the voice. Well, you know what? The government's not working, apparently.
And they're tired of it, man. People are tired of this. And that's what all this stems from, man.
Absolutely, brother.
People are tired. They're tired. Every time you turn on your TV, it's another shooting. Every time I get on the Twitter or get on Apple News, it's the same thing over and over again. And that's the passion that these lawmakers brought to, to the House floor, which brother. I guess is not allowed. But I just don't. I see where you're coming from. You're absolutely right. It looks a certain type of way. And then to go back on what you said, is this their second strike or their third strike? Does she have, she's been, but the only thing I can think of is seniority because she's held her seat for such a long time. But because these guys there's no strikes or newly elected officials.
Yeah.
And then again, they backtracked immediately. Firestorm started. What do? You try to cover your CYA, right? Backtrack. Let's get them reinstated. But unfortunately, man, I think some colors were shown. It may not be that simple. It may not be that black and white, if you would, as far as it's concerned. But I would like to know why. I would like to know more about it. Other than, oh no, that's not what we meant. And just to the speaker's name was I just had it Cameron Sexton.
Thank you,
Speaker of the House. Just to
yes, I knew it was started with a C, but his name just blanked on me. Thank you.
It's all good.
I mean, hey man, you said everybody's tired of it. The guns are tired of it. They're shooting themselves, man.
That's the topic for a later day. Just no sour. You're on the topic. You're on the docket there, brother.
Hey man, I was firing from the hip. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
All right, man. So enough of.
But real quick,
what you got?
So I'm looking just real fast. I just had to look at. I had this line in my head. It says, "For a simple rule violation, we have elevated this to the highest level of admonishment. That's not democracy," said Representative Karen D. Camper, 65, of Memphis. "I beg you not to do that today. History will reflect it. And I am hoping you decide to be on the right side of history at this moment in time." And she's right, man. She's right. When I saw that, I was like, dude, that's
it right there.
That's gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way. And if you're trying to expand your power, your audience, whatever,
it's not the way to do it.
Hey man, Mandalorian would tell you this is not the way. So yeah, I wanted to point out that line. I probably should have brought that up earlier.
It's a beautiful point. It's a beautiful thing to kind of wrap that topic up on, man.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Say it one more time. You read it one more time?
Read it one more time?
Yeah, I want to hear it again.
Okay. I gotta go. I almost closed the window too.
Ooh, glad we got it.
Phew, you did. That was good. So for a simple rule violation, we have elevated this to the highest level of admonishment. That's not a democracy. I beg you not to do this today. History will reflect it. And I'm hoping you decide to be on the right side of history at this moment in time. So The rule violation. Repeat to me what that rule violation was again.
It was something about I'd have to look it up. I too close some things, but basically it was about. So it's like when you go to work, right? You can't act a fool at work. It's basically what it comes down to. It's like, oh, you're acting up in the workplace is what it boils down to, just to kind of like put it in layman's terms. Like, this is where you work.
Okay. This
is where you handle your business. You can't do that here. Like a code of conduct, you know, you can't do that on the premises. They can do it. The people can do it. If you work here, you can't, kind of deal. And they were like, no, like, these people are right and you're not listening, so we're going to stand with them. And this is where we are now. Even when they do get reinstated, one of them has been, you reinstate one, you have to reinstate both, at least in my opinion. You still have to go through the whole election process again. Not only does that take time and energy, it takes money.
Yes.
So you're wasting money to try to throw people out for a simple rule violation when you can just, I'm sure they fine people for stuff like this, or there's other ways to go about it. But they just took it to the max, man. And now everybody's talking about it. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. I like how, man, I'm really trying to steer clear of like I'm trying to dive too deep into politics per se. But they have a guy, Sabi Kumar, they call him Doc. He's a Republican, Indian American. He said, you should join the House and become one of us. Make the transformation from being a person who demonstrates to a representative who represents. So he said that he had never experienced a racial slur in his more than half century in the United States, and admonished Jones for looking at everything through the lens of race. And it's like, hey, you know, good for you that you never experienced it, you know? I don't know, man. That's just, it feels anecdotal, you know? Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not saying their decision was racial, entirely racial, partial. I'm not saying it was.
It's just how it looks.
I'm also not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying it looks bad. It's questionable. And I think that they really need to think about that. You know, acting up, it's a peaceful demonstration.
Yes.
One of the chants were there was you ban books, you ban drag, kids are in body bags.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man, that line stood out to me when you sent this to me the first time. I saw that and I was like, oh, gosh. Oof.
But it's coming to an head. And I think this might just be one of the, just tip of the iceberg moments in this whole movement and this whole, like we were talking about earlier, the whole political outlook of the guns and the Second Amendment right and what we're doing and what we're not doing, as far as that's concerned. But
I'll tell you, that's just crazy, man. I really hope that they figure this crap out and I hope those guys get reinstated. And I hope that despite the situation at hand, I hope they figure it out for the people that voted them in the office. They owe the constituents that much. They owe it to the people to figure this out. Not necessarily so much about the guns. I mean, they do. But I mean, with situations that come up like this, and that's everywhere. If you're not causing chaos and destruction, and you're out there with the people who voted you in office, it's kind of like, remember when the Ohio spill happened, and I talked about Biden before he went to Ukraine. I said he should be
with his people.
He should be out there with his people. Like, I got to go Ukraine, but I just want to let you know, I feel bad. And I got the best people working on it, and I haven't forgotten about you, America. Where's the teleprompter? No, but no, it's like, just go and do that. Go and talk to the people that put you in the office. And I think that's awesome that these folks were out there with the people, because They are a part of that community. That's the thing about local and state government, right? Mm-hmm. You're part of that. It's a little bit different when you're on Capitol Hill. I mean, you're part of America, but
the people you're representing could be on the other side of the country. Like,
right.
Exactly.
Right, man. When that stuff happens right in your own backyard, it hits different.
I will say this. This is probably the most like democratic, and I don't mean that as like the Democrats political party.
I know what you meant.
In the term of democracy. This is the most democratic feat that I've seen from really any politician in a very long time. They're normally scared to do stuff like this, but it's what it's all about. Show the people that you're with them, and not just in votes and not just in speeches, but it's not always safe to go arm in arm down the street, down the sidewalk, or wherever they're marching. But you're here at my workplace talking about something I believe in, I'll be there with you. And I don't think they should get punished for that. And I really don't even think they should have to go through this re-election process. But the laws are the laws here, man.
Yeah, I will say one last bit real quick. We've talked about this topic at length. It's been a long time since we've just given the singular topic so much levity. But it's almost a devil's advocate kind of take on this. If these folks did know that they weren't supposed to do that, what they did, and Tennessee's just got some very specific laws, I hope they learned to kind of do this a little bit differently and maybe even bring up a way to change that law so they're able to be with their people, or just, again, going to have to act differently. That might be their last warning, and then they might be out.
Unfortunately,
it sucks. It sucks, but
something so menial. Even the quote you said, it's a minor infraction.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't really a devil's advocate take, but I'm just trying. I'm really trying to make sense of it, man. So let's talk about on the subject of politics. So Jill Biden. This is kind of lighter, kind of in the realm of racial stuff with the double tap. But so Jill Biden made a suggestion, kind of offhand, and I'm paraphrasing, that they should have the winners, as is tradition of every sport in America. You have the winners come to the White House. But she also wanted to have the losers come to the White House. And what losers and winners are you referring to? Mr. E, LSU, and Iowa, the women's national basketball championship game, which was so much better than the men's. I love
their whole Final Four. I think
their whole Final Four was better than men's, and I love men's basketball.
The San Diego State game on the men's.
Well, I thought San Diego State was going to go all the way, but again, we're kind of crossing over in a two-way talk now.
I got you.
Ooh, put the name out.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she said they played such a good game. They did not.
Caitlin, by 20 points.
They lost by
17?
17 points. Look, I didn't think that LSU was going to win it. I thought it was either going to be Iowa or South Carolina that was going to win that game. I forgot who I spoke with, but they were saying, it might have been you talking about Iowa was not built. It might have been my barber. Iowa was not built to match up with LSU, but South Carolina was. It's two different styles of play. And I don't know. I just didn't think that LSU could handle the firepower because, we all focus on, from a sports perspective, on Caitlin Clark, but she's got shooters and she's a very good facilitator. Mm-hmm. But I digress again on the sports talk. That's just not what you do. And the whole optics of it, again, skewed toward race. Oh, okay, because it's a team of mostly white women. You want to have them come up too. And a team, conversely, is mostly black women. You want to kind of take the spotlight. It's how people are perceiving it. You want to take the spotlight away from them and highlight the losers. And it's, I don't know if Jill Biden was thinking of it from a racial standpoint. She's a white woman. Maybe as a mom, it kicked in. It's like, oh, just the look on those girls' faces. And maybe she got caught up in the moment. But if she said it, well, she did say it. She said it. She retracted her statement, which I'm glad. But yeah, if somehow they were actually going to try to make that a thing, no, that's just
no, that's not what you do. It's never happened in any sport where okay, they're not 5 years old. You don't give out participation trophies. I think you said that earlier. Like, yeah, no, it's not the way that works. And it just, there was art. We'll talk a little bit more about the tension that was brought up towards the end of this game here in just a minute.
Yeah.
But there was already so much tension in this, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just fun. I don't know. You think about it. You have LSU. It's such contrasting just cultures, right?
Right.
My favorite video during all of this, there was a video of Iowa.
Their warm up.
No, they were like in the locker room.
Yeah,
and they were like singing High School Musical.
Yep.
And then LSU's in there like singing like Lil Boozy or something like that.
Yeah. It's just two totally different cultures.
Totally different cultures, man. But that's for Joe Biden. It's just like such a. It's a dumb reason to be in the headlines, man. It's such a dumb reason to be in the headlines. Out of all the things that you can do as first lady, and this is the thing that you're getting dragged for, but she was wrong. You don't do that. I get it. What did she say? Sportsmanship, right? But the sportsmanship is getting in the line and shaking those people's hands and saying good game on the, on your way back there. And we'll get into some sportsmanship stuff later too.
Oh yeah,
in a second.
absolutely.
But I just think that was the wrong move. I think you can always tell when somebody hasn't played sports, really, or at least at a very highly competitive level, because that's what I think about with this. Like, it was controversial. She shouldn't have said it. I just don't think she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna go too crazy in depth on that because honestly, it's a throwaway statement. It's really kind of a transition into our larger. Still kind of focused on race, but that was kind of our little lighthearted take, going, all right. She said it. It's stupid. That's not what you do. They're not going to do that. However, you mentioned sportsmanship. Now, when they got in line or when the game was pretty much sealed, Angel Reese did what Caitlin Clark's been doing all season, the John Cena, you can't see me, and then pointing at the ring on her finger. Now that kind of takes it up a notch in those tensions because depending on what news outlet, what community you're a part of, one group is saying, and this is like majority groups, right? I'm not talking about the middle. One group is saying, oh, look at that, arrogant, classless. And the other side is like, they just won. She's excited. She's hyped. Caitlin Clark's been doing it all year.
Yeah, where was the outrage when she did it?
Yeah. So where was your outrage when she did it? Now, and you have the text messages to prove it. When Caitlin Clark, after they won, and she was doing all that stuff, what did I say in my text message to you? I was like, she better be careful doing that. Because
it's going to come back to bite her.
Yes. I said that could come back to bite her. There's something, I'm paraphrasing myself, but I had made mention of her doing that stuff. I didn't like that. Now, personally, we are Spurs fans. We're spoiled by Tim Duncan and Ginobili and Parker and these guys who they get hype, but they don't do that. They don't taunt people. They don't get in people's faces. And so I'm just used to seeing that from my athletes. I love seeing that just classiness. And so whether Caitlin Clark did it or Angel Reese did it, I didn't like it at all. I don't want to see it. I'm like, look, just be cool. Hey, good game. You want to talk your stuff? I'm the kind of, I don't know how you were when you played sports. Like you and me are on the same team. Yeah, I talk a lot of trash, but I don't go in the other person's face. I'll come up to you in the huddle. Hey, keep giving me the ball. He can't guard me. Dude, he couldn't guard a ghost. You know what I mean? Like I would say all that. And then I get out there and I play the game, and they start talking trash to me. I might bite a little bit. Like, careful what you say. Look at that scoreboard. Who's losing?
That's my favorite one when you win it.
Yeah.
Just look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better about getting your behind kicked, that's fine. But we're going home with the W.
For me, I didn't really have a problem with either one of them. It's competitiveness. Well, Caitlin Clark did it after posting the first 40-point triple-double.
30 and 40.
30 and 40-point triple-double in the women's NCAA tournament history, in men's and women's.
I was going to say period. Period.
NCAA history, 40-point triple-double. Yeah, you can't see her, bro.
She was in her bag.
She was in her bag. There was nothing to do there. And then for Angel Reese, it's the same thing. She was, when they went to the Final Four after getting the Elite Eight, her teammate drew a ring on her finger. Like, this is what we're going for. This is what we're doing. And she, especially with the way that LSU won in a team aspect, what did she say? This ain't no one-man show. You can't see me. Give me the ring. Is kind of how I took that. Like, okay, score all your points, but give me the ring.
You know what the funny part is? She wasn't even the reason why they won.
No, she wasn't. Not that game.
The Zaya Cook. I mean, in that game, Zaya Cook is really the one that got him the chip.
Yeah.
So it's like what she should be doing is grabbing Zaya Cook's hand and pointing at her ring finger.
No, but Angela Reese was that.
No, she was good.
Baller
She was
for
good.
them all season. She's a walking double-double, man. You like a sleeping double-double. There's one game during the tournament where she had like 6 blocks. She had a double-double and like 6 blocks. Like, cold. These are great athletes.
I'm not knocking her. Like I don't want to sound like a hater. I'm just saying, like,
no, but that game specifically,
I'm really trying to give props to Zaya Cook, who went like
2020
right.
double.
Dude, Zaya Cook she went thermonuclear. She was like, "Oh, you want to shoot? I can shoot.
Let me show you how to splash."
Yeah. She went off.
She did.
Yeah.
It was a great game. I really wish it would have been a little closer, but it's still a great game, and both of them are coming back, so that'll be fun to see how the schedule makers play that next year, if they get to see each other. The college scheduling is weird to me because it's like you have to play in your conference, but sometimes they play out of the conference. Sometimes they play little baby schools, and like
it's about money. It's all about money, and exposure. But going back to the whole racial thing, I do like that they brought Caitlin Clark out, and Caitlin Clark. For our fans who aren't sports, or listeners who aren't sports people, she's a Caucasian girl. Angel Reese is African American. So there you go. She went on ESPN and she's like, "Look, it's just competition." She's like, "It didn't bother me at all." I mean, I don't know if that's entirely true, but she said the right things. Because in my mind, I'd be watching that video over and over in the gym.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'd be like, okay,
all right, that's how you feel.
Listening to Ludacris, coming for the number one spot, dude. But no. I feel like, and this is the other side of, that's why I'm glad we talked about this. This is the other side of this racial tension stuff. We start to make something out of nothing as a society. Now, there are people who feel the way they feel. She's arrogant, but she's okay, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no. Kate, so let's just say majority black people feel like Angel Reese is cool. Caitlin Clark's arrogant. Majority of white people, Caitlin Clark's okay. Angel Reese is arrogant. I'm not saying those are the numbers, but that's just, it's different views, different lenses on such a small thing. It's arrogance from both of them, period. Stop right there. It's cockiness. It's arrogance. Or as people like to say, it's a little swag. Okay, fine. Cool, you can call it that too. I still say it's cocky arrogance, but that's just what athletes do. Athletes dance in the first quarter when they're up by 10 and then cry in the fourth quarter when they lose by 20. You know what I mean?
You get your Pat Beverleys that take their shirt off and celebrate.
Right. They're celebrating getting into the playoffs,
yeah.
Not winning the championship. Yes, that's my point. That's my point. So people really need to stop and remove race from everything. And I know that sounds crazy to say on the heels of the last conversation, but I think we need to sit back and just be like, Okay. What are we looking at here? What are we doing? Go ahead.
I think that people need to look themselves in the mirror.
Yes.
Is what it really comes down to. Because as the resident Twitter scroller, as all this was transpiring, and I don't post a lot on Twitter, but I scroll and I'm watching these people like, oh, that is just disgusting. That's such a classless act. But you can go in, like your tweets are always there. Of course you can delete them, but you can go in and look at what they were saying 5 days ago, and it's a complete opposite.
Oh, okay.
It's a complete opposite take on the other person. And that's where all of this kind of comes from, right? It's these people who had one opinion on Caitlin Clark, but a different one when she did the same thing. And you can't take race out of the equation, or you can't really have a discussion about it until you look yourself in the mirror. Because there are people like me who looked at both of those people do both of those things and had absolutely no problem with either one of them.
For you, right? It's just competition.
It's just competition. There's nothing to go about it. And competition or not, they're just people doing stuff. Look,
which is funny because we're both on a feel a similar way, but in different views. You're okay with it, and I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah, you don't like it. You don't.
But
like
they both were doing it.
Yeah, so you can't be mad at one or the other,
right?
And if you are mad at one or the other, then you need to take a look in the mirror and see, how do I feel about why? Why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she just was exaggerated. Well, yeah, she also just won the national championship. Like, take that into effect. Yeah, she did this, and then she pointed to her ring finger. She did an extra step. Like, yeah, she did an extra step. She just won the championship when she didn't do it. Like, there's
she was excited to be.
Yeah, exactly.
This, for all she knows, this is the only championship she'll ever win. The biggest championship that she'll win, like on the biggest.
I'm sure that's not what they think.
Well, I'm just saying, but for all she knows.
Yeah,
but I'm like, she probably has, of course, aspirations to win the WNBA title, but that's not guaranteed.
Yeah, and that's
she can
not
bust
there
a knee
yet.
tomorrow.
It's like you work your way up, junior league, you win high school titles or state championships, or and then you get that natty in there, and there, you know how many college athletes there are that never get that to experience that feeling. What are there, 68 teams in the tournament now?
Oh yeah.
68 teams, one gets to be the winner. Of course, you're going to have emotions going through that. But the racial tension in this country, going back from the last topic to this topic, it's less about the topics and more about the people. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and really be honest with yourself. And if it's how you are or whatever it is, I mean, I'm not okay with it, and I don't think you should be either. But as long as you can look at yourself and say, oh, no, that's the way I am. But don't be wishy-washy when it comes to this. You know what I mean?
Right. And maybe I didn't word it correctly when I was saying take race out of it. I mean, I'm laughing because I'm going to sound like a politician. It's like, why do you make everything about race? It's like I'm trying to look at this situation besides, black and white. I'm trying to really just look at the acts themselves, and just really diagnose it from that standpoint and just be like, I don't like it. We're done with this. She didn't have a problem with it, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
We're done with this. Why are we going around now and bloviating and talking about this on Sports Center and on Fox Sports for, the whole week? To me, it was like, it was a non-story, but I didn't have your perspective of actually reading Twitter like that. When I go on Twitter, it's to check a couple things. I'm in and I'm out. I don't get caught up in what people are saying about it. I just looked at the situation and was like, ooh, that's kind of ugly. Ugh. But if you're telling me that people are like night and day, that doesn't surprise me either. I live in America.
Yeah.
I live in this world, man. I understand that there's double standards and people are going to root for one side versus the other because of X reasons. So I get it, man. I want to say though, on the sports talk, congratulations to LSU. They had a heck of a run. I did not have them even go. Honestly, I thought Maryland was going to get them. I don't know why, but I thought Maryland was going to squeak out. They didn't. And when LSU got there, I was like, well, you don't matter.
Yeah, it's South Carolina's
South Carolina or Iowa.
lose.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of those two on that side. So congratulations to them. They had a heck of a run. That was a tournament for the ages. That was one of the best tournaments I've ever watched, since I've been a basketball fan.
I agree.
And for all you people out there, do what Trey said. Look yourselves in the mirror and ask yourself, am I the problem? Seriously. If you're getting caught up in the acts of competition, ask yourself, have you been in a position where you've been at the top of your game and you were the best and you wanted to celebrate? Did you taunt people? Me personally, I could say I didn't taunt people. I can't even say that because I would taunt people when I played video games. I beat my dad, I beat my cousin, and I'd be like, boom, in your face.
It's just competitiveness,
It's
man.
competitiveness, I'm not, that wasn't my finest moment. I was also a child when I did that. But ask yourself, have you ever had any of these moments where you just jump out and you're like, boom, I got you. I did that. Ah! It's that feeling of that you're elated.
Yeah.
You're hype. The energy, it's the adrenaline. Everything that you've worked hard for has paid off at a large scale. There are cameras on you. People celebrate when they write a script and they go, oh, it worked. They write code. It worked. You change a tire. It worked. I changed my windshield wiper blades today. I was like, it worked. You're like, it was a pain in the butt. One was good. The other one was super hard to do, but I got it. So you accomplished something and you feel good about it. Don't take that moment from these kids. Don't politicize this. Don't racialize this. Let them have their moment. If she's okay with it, Caitlin, then let it die. You don't have to like it. I certainly didn't. I don't like again, I'm going to repeat myself. I don't like the taunting. But you know what? I don't have to. Let them do their thing. Fierce competitors, man. I'll let you have that last word on that.
Last word for me, man, is all I know is that if we were talking mess throughout a game, going back and forth, chirping at each other a little bit, nothing too crazy, but I won the championship over you, or I hit the step back dagger at the buzzer to send you home, and we were talking, I'm throwing the deuces sign, or I'm saying bye-bye. I'm gonna tell you, bye. If we were going back and forth. Now, if it was a respectable game, the whole game, there was no disrespect, there was no talking, no competitive jabber going on, then maybe I'll just hit it back and I go celebrate with my teammates. But if you were in my chest and it was a fierce game and we were battling all day and scratching and clawing and chirping at each other, when I send you home, I'm gonna chunk the deuces and then I'm gonna go over there and celebrate with my teammates. But that's just being a competitor, man. That's all it is. It's all it was. And congratulations again to LSU. And also, congratulations to Caitlin Clark. A hell of a run. Iowa, man. The hell of a run. But yeah, that's it for me, man. That's my soapbox. I'm going to go play some 2K now.
You hyped up for some 2K?
Got it, man. Got to do it.
Well, this was kind of almost like an old school WFS. We've been under an hour lately. We're a little over today. But we had to let these topics breathe, man. As you can tell, we were really passionate about these. So, hey, you can find us. It's been a while since we've done this. You can find us at Common Sense Media on Instagram, Common Sense Media on Twitter. Give us a follow. All right. Same thing with your podcatcher. If this is your first time listening, thank you for listening. We hope you continue to listen. Go back and listen to our old episodes. We're a very young podcast. This is only episode 13.
Yeah, man.
So, if you feel so inclined, hit us up on social media, send us a message, and let us know what you think. Tell us what worked. Tell us what didn't. We're open to that. We would love to hear from you. Also, peace.